The first Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, Chairman of the General Sports Authority and President of Bahrain Olympic Committee, His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa, opened the first Gulf Healthcare and Sports Congress in the presence of the Chairman of the Supreme Council for Health, Lieutenant General Sheikh Dr. Mohammed bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, the Health Minister Dr. Jalila Hassan, the Education Minister and Chairman of the Board of Trustees of the University of Bahrain, Dr. Muhammad Jum'a, which is organized by the University of Bahrain in collaboration with Education Plus, and the participation of medical and sports staff, as well as students from various higher education institutions in Bahrain. His Highness Sheikh Khalid affirmed that Bahrain will continue hosting mega events that shed light on the wide-ranging achievements attained by the kingdom during the prosperous era of His Majesty the King, and thanks to the support of the government led by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, particularly the health and sports sectors, in light of the major role played by the representative of His Majesty the King for humanitarian work and youth affairs, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa. His Highness said that the medical and sports sectors are making steadfast strides towards more progress in light of the scientific and academic events held recently, which contributes to achieving the desired goals. His Highness Sheikh Khalid lauded the themes covered by the first GHSC, including comprehensive health coverage and the use of artificial intelligence in the health and sports sectors, wishing the participants success. The Education Minister addressed the opening session of the first Congress, expressing sincere thanks and gratitude to His Highness Sheikh Khalid for patronizing and attending the event. He also paid tribute to the pioneering role of His Highness Sheikh Khalid, along with His Highness Sheikh Nasser, in supporting the youth and sports movement in the kingdom, inspiring the Bahraini youth to do their utmost to attain achievements of various national, continental and international sports gatherings. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdul Latif Al-Zayani, participated in the preparatory meeting of the Arab Foreign Affairs Ministers for the extraordinary session of the Arab Summit, to be held on Saturday in Riyadh under the presidency of Saudi Arabia, and at the request of Palestine and Saudi Arabia to study the developments of the situation in the Gaza Strip. The meeting was chaired by the Saudi Foreign Affairs Minister and President of the Arab Summit, His Highness Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud, with the participation of the Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Abul Ghait. The ministers discussed the agenda of the Emergency Arab Summit in addition to the draft resolution on the situation in the Gaza Strip, which will be submitted to the summit for approval. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdul Latif Al-Zayani, met in Riyadh the UK Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs, James Cleverly. They discussed the close friendship and partnership relations between the two countries and the ways to develop joint cooperation to serve mutual interests within the framework of the strategic dialogue between them, the launch of which was announced at the meeting held in London last month. The two ministers discussed developments in the ongoing escalating situation at the Gaza Strip and the regional and international efforts being made to achieve a ceasefire, protect the civilians, release detainees and hostages, and deliver humanitarian and relief aid to the people of Gaza. Both ministers discussed opportunities to advance the peace process in the Middle East to achieve just and lasting peace in the region, in addition to regional issues of common interest. The President of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, received at the Presidential Palace the credentials of the Ambassador of Bahrain to Colombia and residing in Brasilia, Badr Abbas Al-Halabi. The ambassador conveyed the greetings of His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, and their wishes of health and happiness to the President and further development and growth to Colombia. The President expressed pride in the friendly relations with Bahrain, wishing the ambassador success in performing his diplomatic duties. For his part, the ambassador praised the existing bilateral relations between the two friendly countries, which are witnessing development and growth, expressing his aspiration to advance these relations for the benefit of the two friendly countries and people. Labour Minister Jamil bin Mohammed Ali Hameidan emphasized the importance of Tamkeen's new programs implemented in accordance with the royal directives of His Majesty the King to create more promising opportunities for citizens. More in this report.
The recently conducted press conference by the Labour Fund Tamkeen provided crucial insights into the new package of programs which have been designed with the primary objective of boosting the employment opportunities and facilitating career advancement for Bahrainis. One of the key goals of these initiatives is to allocate a budget to support 50,000 Bahrainis on an annual basis, as well as increasing Bahraini wages and expanding the availability of employment opportunities. As per the directives of His Highness Sheikh Isa bin Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the chairman of Tamkeen, the programs also encompass specialized training initiatives and comprehensive support measures that empower Bahrainis to pursue leadership and executive roles. During the press conference, the Minister of Labour Jamil Hameidan underlined the remarkable package of programs that aim to elevate Bahraini citizens across diverse fields. He also commended the pivotal role played by the national media and press in generating awareness among the Bahraini society regarding the significance of the new programs for individuals and institutions. The press conference emphasizes that the government, led by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, is fully committed to prioritizing the implementation of directives that focuses on the well-being and development of the citizens. This commitment highlights the government's determination to create a better future for the people of Bahrain and recognizes their essential role in driving the country's progress.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs Under-Secretary for Political Affairs, Dr. Sheikh Abdullah bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, represented the Kingdom of Bahrain at the International Humanitarian Conference for the Civilian Population in Gaza held in Paris. Dr. Sheikh Abdullah reaffirmed Bahrain's stance under the leadership of His Majesty the King in support of adopting an immediate humanitarian ceasefire that leads to the cessation of hostilities, the protection of the Palestinian and Israeli civilians, and facilitating the delivery of medical aid, food, water, fuel, and electricity to the residents of the Gaza Strip in accordance with international humanitarian law. He highlighted the efforts of the Royal Humanitarian Foundation and the Bahrain National Committee for supporting the Palestinians in Gaza to implement His Majesty the King's sound directives. In light of the support of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa and the follow-up of the representative of His Majesty the King for humanitarian work and youth affairs, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa. He indicated that Bahrain had already delivered 80 tons of medical food and relief materials in 2 shipments through the Rafah crossing, unveiling Bahrain's plans to build a field hospital, a residential complex, and other development projects within the framework of the Gaza reconstruction process. Dr. Sheikh Abdullah affirmed that the kingdom will carry on its diplomatic and humanitarian efforts in coordination with the international community to reach an immediate and permanent ceasefire and to ensure the delivery of the necessary humanitarian and relief aid to the Palestinian residents of the Gaza Strip. Aiming to transform the travel experience for passengers, Bahrain International Airport has launched a home check-in and baggage delivery service to provide a seamless and hassle-free experience for passengers. The new service, introduced as part of Hala Bahrain Hospitality, allows customers to complete the check-in process and have their bags transported to Bahrain International Airport prior to their departure. With airport home check-in services, passengers can enjoy the convenience of checking in their luggage from the comfort of their own homes. An agent from Hala Bahrain will arrive at the passenger's preferred location to weigh and tag the bags, check in the passenger, and issue boarding passes by ensuring the passenger package is delivered to the airport and loaded onto the flight. Travelers can enjoy a stress-free departure process and head directly to immigration, bypassing the check-in desks upon arrival at Bahrain International Airport. With this personalized service, Bahrain International Airport is redefining travel convenience, ensuring travelers can focus on the excitement of their journey. Passengers traveling from Bahrain International Airport can book the service by dropping an email to home-check-in@halabahrain.bh up to 30 days in advance of their travel and up until 12 hours before the flight. Exhibition World Bahrain (EWB) has witnessed significant momentum of events since its opening, thanks to its equipped halls and venues. Launched in 2022, EWB is led by the Bahrain Tourism and Exhibitions Authority and managed by ASM Global, the leading global company in strategic, event and occasion management. Exhibition World Bahrain is renowned for its exceptional versatility in accommodating a wide ranging of local and international conferences and exhibitions, in addition to hosting meetings, entertainment events, and musical concerts. It encompasses exhibition halls and conferences rooms equipped with the state-of-the-art technology, providing cutting-edge facilities for exhibitions, conferences, and meetings. EWB features 10 exhibition halls with varying heights, covering a total area of approximately 95,000 square meters. It incorporates all the essential services, including lighting, air conditioning, and technical support, making it the ideal venue to host international exhibitions and facilitate business deals. In November, Exhibition World Bahrain will host 3 international exhibitions simultaneously. They are the Jewelry Arabia, Scent Arabia, and Cityscape Real Estate Exhibition, which demonstrate the international confidence in Bahrain's ability to host and organize major exhibitions. The foreign ministers of Arab countries are meeting in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, to prepare for an emergency Arab summit, which will be held on Saturday to discuss the means to stop the war in Gaza. The Saudi capital will host the leaders of the 22 Arab countries, who will convene in an extraordinary session of the Arab League Council to consult, coordinate, and discuss ways to confront the continuing escalation in the occupied Palestinian territories. In addition, Saudi Arabia, in its capacity as chairman of the current Islamic Summit, will hold on Sunday an extraordinary meeting of the Organization of the Islamic Cooperation Countries in Riyadh to discuss the developments in Gaza. Political analysts and experts pointed out that the Arab and Islamic summits represent an opportunity that may produce results that contribute to stopping the military escalation against the innocent people in the Gaza Strip. They also expected that the summits will send several messages regarding the necessity of stopping the war in Gaza and starting negotiations for a humanitarian ceasefire, and eventually to work towards a two-state solution. Leaders from 50 nations throughout the Middle East and Africa have gathered in the Saudi capital Riyadh for the inaugural Saudi-African Summit. The summit aims to strengthen shared interests, foster development, and ensure stability. Riyadh is hosting a summit between Saudi Arabia and the African nations, signaling the beginning of a strategic partnership covering political, economic, investment, security, and cultural domains. Saudi Arabia enjoys significant trust and respect among the African leaders, being considered a linchpin for both the Arab and Islamic worlds. The kingdom pursues a wise policy focused on economic and developmental interests as the kingdom hosts a substantial number of African leaders, signaling the establishment of strategic collaboration that serves the interests of both parties. The trade volume between Saudi Arabia and African countries reached 74.735 billion Saudi riyals in 2023. Exports accounted for 53.071 billion riyals, while imports totaled 21.664 billion riyals. In his opening speech in the summit, Saudi Crown Prince, His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, said the kingdom is planning new investments of over $25 billion in various sectors. He further added that Saudi Arabia plans to secure $10 billion from exports and provide a development finance of more than $5 billion to Africa until 2030. Saudi Arabia is keen to enhance cooperation with African states and contribute to establishing security and peace in the region and the world. Prince Mohammed announced King Salman's development initiative of over $1 billion in Africa over the next 10 years. The relations between the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the countries of Africa are witnessing a great growth and progress based on a long history of cooperation and notable positions in various political, security, economic and other fields. African delegates at this summit have had positive feelings to say about Saudi Arabia and its leadership.
We participated in the economic forum, which was attended by specifically foreign affairs ministers who came to witness the summit of today. We are yet to enter into the summit to see what the heads of states, specifically from Africa and Asia, led by Saudi Arabia, to see how we can move on as Africans. So our coming here is to be witness and inform the rest of the world that the economic forum that went well yesterday, various agreements were signed by the African countries and Saudi Arabia. So today we are heading to see the summit. We expect that really at the end of this summit, Africa is going to change.
I'm coming from Freetown, Sierra Leone. I'm a journalist. I was nominated to come here, and I'm very pleased that what I saw happening in Saudi Arabia, especially with journalists. You know, Saudi Arabia has opened the door for journalists to be able to practice very freely. Yes, and again, when you talk about the economy, I've never been in Saudi Arabia, but we'll be reading books and things like that about Saudi Arabia. But what I saw when I came this time is very, very good. The country, I would think maybe by the next 10 years, Saudi Arabia will be counted among the leading countries in the world. There are so many projects which I have seen myself, and there are so many things now. And look at this summit. Almost all the African presidents are here. It's only Saudi Arabia, I think, can achieve that. And that's very good. I commend the country itself, and I commend the leadership of Saudi Arabia.
The Greek neighborhood of Monastiraki is one of the oldest neighborhoods of the capital Athens, located at the heart of the city. Monastiraki Square is a famous meeting place for Athenians, and the area around it offers many things to see and do. Standing in the middle of the square, you can see a blend of historical eras, architecture and cultures, and many roads leading to different directions. Located under the shadow of the Acropolis, Monastiraki is a unique neighborhood that has been inhabited for 6,000 consecutive years. It is among the oldest, most historic, and important neighborhoods in Western culture. The name Monastiraki was established during the Greek Revolution against the Ottoman occupation. It was inspired by the female monastery that was established on the square. Athens is well known for its food culture. For those craving for some ethnic foods, there are multiple spots in the square where travelers can try out some falafel dishes, and falafel wrapped in pita bread is the top choice for many tourists visiting Athens.